In this video, I am going to be critical regarding Bethesda and its titles, games like Skyrim, Fallout and even Starfield. I apologize for my friends if I get to use few curse words in this video, but I feel very frustrated with what is going on with Bethesda and with other similar studios, and I think everybody can see the pattern and speculate that the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be at best case scenario mid. I've said Starfield will be mid and everybody hated me. My most disliked video was a video where I've said how Starfield will be at best a mid game, and I've got so many negative comments. People were calling me PlayStation sellout, which what's that even? I thought consoles were something people were using like 50 years ago. Is console wars still a thing? I genuinely don't know. Let me know in the comments. Anyway, there has been a bunch of oopsie whoopsies happening from many big studios like Bungie, Ubisoft, Game Freak with the recent Pokemon game. Calling it a game is crazy. I think it's more of a scam. All of that shenanigans inspired me to make this video. And as you guys know, I am a big fan of Bethesda and I am also a big hater of Bethesda. Wait, Kavou, how can you be both? Well, that's when you know you're a fan. You love something that you also hate.
Oh, I dream about you tonight.
Mommy wants you to burn him. The only way you can become a man is if you kill what you love.
When you always try to avoid criticism, when you always try to act like a yes man, to be like a blind zombie, like a homunculus, sitting there and eating all the dicks those big companies serve you, no, that's not called being a fan. That's called you being a dick-eating retard. I'm sorry for my language, again, I don't usually care. Bethesda is one of the last remaining studios that I still remember them back from my childhood when I was young and happy. I've quitted so many games that I grew up with, games that I used to love, games like World of Warcraft, The Sims, Pokemon, just to name a few, and it sucks when you leave those behind, but when I look back to those studios and to those games, I always say to myself, thank God I left 10 years ago, because the writing is on the wall. Now let's be more specific and let's talk about Skyrim, let's talk about Bethesda products, because this video is about that, right? Let me ask you something, guys, and I want you to be honest with me. How comes every time you make a new game, the graphics already look dated, the gameplay always look dated? What I've described is the Bethesda games of the past 2 decades. Morrowind, Oblivion, even Skyrim, Fallout 4 and Starfield, all of those games are so dated, and if you want to argue with me, I'm gonna tell you something. How come we have so many loading screens in Fallout 4 and Starfield compared to Morrowind and Oblivion? We're getting less and less, and we're supposed to sit there and eat Todd Howard's and Bethesda's dick and be happy about it. I say screw that. Why can't Bethesda always uses their old dirty engines every single time?
You're finally awake.
Just go in Starfield, their latest super popular game that everybody talks about, and go to any big city and realize that you're getting an area, let's speak about Neon for instance, that is half the size of Whiterun. Anytime you walk through any locations, you're having less stuff to load in, yet loading takes twice as long, let alone you have loading screens to go through the city. And this is disgusting. And don't have me start talking about the gameplay, the graphics, the abysmal writing, the political rot in those studios. I am a seasoned Bethesda hater and also a dick eater because I've played all of their games aside Fallout 76. Even I have fallen for Starfield. For me, I always thought Skyrim was a little bit strange. But I love the vibe of the game, and you have mods to pretty much overhaul and even remake the game. Fallout 4 was when I was understanding that Bethesda can simply not make games anymore, or at least good RPGs, and I'm the biggest Fallout fan. And then Starfield comes out and I realize that Bethesda is completely dead. And by the way, I'm not touching Fallout 76 because that will be me beating on a corpse. And this is at Morrowind, where this is legal, by the way. So I'm asking you again, do you trust that Bethesda, with all of their history of failures, will provide Elder Scrolls 6 to a good state? Let me know that in the comments. I'm very curious to read what you guys think. Similar to Fallout 4 was just not for me. It just wasn't, guys. It doesn't feel like an RPG, and I know you can go and watch 1 or 2 hour long videos to understand what I'm talking about. Sadly, I'm not very smart. I'm not very good with words. I'm a man of action. I cannot convince you about anything. I'm just a Greek guy trying to state the obvious. And if you like their games, if you like Fallout 4, if you love Starfield, good for you. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't. If you were a friend of mine and you were telling me that you have a great time grabbing your dick and beating it on a wall, good for you. I am happy you have fun. Now, would I have fun doing this? I don't think so. And by the way, you are free to do whatever you want. But Starfield and Fallout 4, my point is, every time someone enjoys those two games, there is 100 other more people that they don't. And if you look at the numbers, it's very clearly that the majority of the community doesn't like those games, regarding what the paid activists, the paid critics, the woke people, whatever you want to call them, they try to tell you otherwise. They try to tell you what to think about those games. This video is gonna be a little bit of me rambling about it, but let's jump back into Skyrim. When Skyrim released, I've played it for a full year without the usage of any mods, and then I realized, thanks to modding, I was able to refresh this game and just make it so much better, improve the graphics, improve the combat, improve things, all of those dated elements Bethesda has left into the game. And I understand that Skyrim is a 15-year-old game, but have in mind, if Skyrim was to come out today, it wouldn't be anywhere near as popular, because again, Bethesda's games are extremely outdated. For them to add gun inertia in any of their games is something next gen, which is a mechanic that almost every other studio puts it by default. And I can go and talk about those game mechanics regarding everything when it comes to Bethesda games. Their games are just old the time they come out, and the same will happen with the Elder Scrolls 6, let alone Starfield, which is their latest release. And you might ask me, wait Kavou, you say you like mods, but aren't you a mod enthusiast? I mean, you make videos about mods. Yes, that's correct, but I like to play vanilla games. Sometimes I like to boot up my emulator and play Pokemon Blue, or the old Zelda games, or Digimon World 1, or Skyrim without any mods. I just love the vanilla feel to games that I think they're great. Is Skyrim perfect? No, it's not, but it's one of the best games Bethesda has made in a very long time, and I think the saddest thing, it might be the only best game they've made, because I don't trust them to deliver us the Elder Scrolls 6. Rockstar, on the other hand, they have provided a series of good games, and I'm sure GTA 6 might not be perfect, but I think it's going to be a good game. I cannot say the same for the Elder Scrolls 6, let alone when Microsoft owns it, and let alone when many of the main writers from the Dragon Age Failguard have joined into the writing team of Bethesda for Elder Scrolls 6. And don't forget, the homunculus known as Emil Pagriarullo still lives inside the Bethesda HQs. So Bethesda, they still use their city engine, and instead of refining their core mechanics of their games, their elements, updating the engine, look at Cyberpunk for example, no, they just put all of this useless effort into political stuff, into marketing, and into the most tiny things to make the clutter look better. They just try to focus on small trees and they completely miss the forest. For me, this is the law of diminishing returns. This is what happens when a studio grows from having 50 and 100 game developers into having tens of thousands. A simple decision will take days, even weeks to come out, which is again, why are we waiting for 15 years for Elder Scrolls 6 to come out? This is also a testament to how dated and old and slow Bethesda is. It's not one of those things where once the Elder Scrolls 6 will come out, it's going to be great because they take a long time. No, they don't take a long time to make the game good. They take a long time because the majority of developers and jobs inside Bethesda are BS jobs anyway. They're useless. They're useless jobs run by cringe millennials that they try to put their political brain rot into our games. Every other studio tries to push boundaries with better games to renovate things in the industry. Meanwhile, Bethesda does the absolute minimum and keeps getting away with it. You can't keep getting away with it! Kavou, what do you mean they keep getting away with it? I mean, there is genuinely people who think Fallout 4 and Starfield was good games, and that shows you we have unlocked the worst ending, which is very sad. I think both you and I should have higher standards and should get treated with better quality games. Hell, I've played Expedition 33, which is a fantastic RPG game, and it started from few developers that left Ubisoft in order to create their own game. And Expedition 33 was a game that was made with less than 30 developers, and that shows you that we need more of that, and Bethesda is not it. Bethesda's games always had the same consistency, the same quality. If you look back all the way from Morrowind, with some minor improvements, of course, but let me ask you this. When was the last time Bethesda has made a good game? When I say a good game, I don't mean a mid-game or above average. I mean an Expedition 33 or a Baldur's Gate 3 or an Elden Ring. When was the last time Bethesda has made a game that was so good that it completely won the internet? Never. Even Morrowind. Those games were great. They were great. But my point is, Bethesda never was able to provide good games. Technically, their games were never good, but you enjoyed those games because you liked the vibe of it. You liked what Bethesda did with the exploration and with some of the small things they added. But when you look at their games technically, they just look very mediocre. One of the main reasons, again, I love playing Skyrim is because of the vibe and the world building. Everything else is completely dated, which is why I like to use mods to fix that. The exact same thing will happen with the Elder Scrolls 6. History has always a funny pattern of repeating itself, and if you look on the latest releases, Fallout 4 and Starfield, I mean, do you really want me to try and convince you anymore? What my point is, guys, there are so many good studios out there making insane games. We live in a time and age where more and more better games are coming out. I am playing Megabong, I am replaying Expedition 33, I am playing Avalon, and there are so many good games coming out. There is the DLC of Mountain Blade. Why? Why should we stuck with one studio and try and die on the hill to prove what? That we like eating dicks? I've seen the recent Pokemon release of ZA or whatever the crap this is called, and it's crazy because Game Freak is a studio that always puts the least amount of work, and everybody apparently is a professional dick eater and they love feasting on whatever diarrhea Game Freak will throw on them. I don't think Bethesda games are as bad as Game Freak, given the pattern and given how we keep getting on reverse with worse and worse game from Bethesda. I don't think we're very far away from that happening. And one of the reasons why you don't see me mention Fallout New Vegas or the old Fallout games was because they were made by a different studio and different game developers. Modern Bethesda will never dare to touch subjects like slavery, human rights abuse, war, organ harvesting, because they just want to be political correct and they want their modern audience to follow and share their message. Fuck this shit, fuck the message, and fuck the modern audience. You know what? Fuck you too. Okay, I'm joking. I love you guys. I do, which is why I make those type of videos. It's very important to have genuine criticism, and we are usually criticizing things we care about and love, which shows you that I am a big fan. I really want Bethesda to come out of this and win, but it's not going to happen because Microsoft owns Bethesda, and Microsoft, you can see their pattern when it comes to their games and their studios and all of that. It is not going to be good, guys. Starfield, for me, did the same thing that the latest Pokemon game did, which is the game treats you like you are an NPC. If you look at the dialogues, if you look at their NPCs and the story, and again, let's go back to the dialogue, you never have a choice. They give you the illusion of it, but essentially all of your options are the same thing. It's lazy, it's bad, and Starfield, similar to the Pokemon games, they doesn't treat you like you are retarded. They know you are because you bought their games. And again, let me ask you this before closing the video. Are you a Bethesda hater or not? Do you think Bethesda is a good company? Let me know down in the comments. I believe that if you condition your fan base to be dick eaters for a very long time, I think people start to get used to it, their standards go very low, and in the end they will defend this horrible slope of bad games no matter what happens. People defend Fallout 76, people defend Fallout 4, and people defend Starfield. And if Bethesda makes a game that is 10 times worse than all of those, guess what will happen? The dick eaters will emerge and they will keep doing PR and defend their favorite multi-billion company. I think the end game for Bethesda and all of those big AAA studios is to farm and grind a bunch of drones that will defend anything they make. Any time of those companies like Bethesda sits, those people will open their mouths, feast on the diarrhea, and they will say, oh yes, please give me more. That being said, that was my rant, and I'm sorry for cursing, but I just wanted to take this out of my chest. If you want me to make more videos similar to this, let me know by liking, by subscribing. I have some interesting news I want to share regarding the Elder Scrolls 6. I don't want to always make videos regarding Skyrim mods. I want to move up and expand the channel, so if you've made it through the end of the video, I love all of you guys and I thank you for the support. And I'm not going to be this type of a guy that I will refuse to criticize something out of fear. If you're doing this, you are not a fan, you are the opposite because you are part of the problem. Take care everyone, and until next time, it was me, Kavou, and bye bye.